Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar can get overwhelming pretty quickly. It also doesn't explain everything, and honestly, there are a few things that I wish I knew before I started playing. So let me save you the struggle with some quick tips to make your farm life easier. Let's try and reach 1,000 likes because as I was putting all of this content for you for Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar, I also welcomed Squish, our new kitten who has been an absolute menace but also the cutest little fluff ball. So maybe we can welcome him as well. Starting with a tip that I wish I knew a lot earlier, which is you don't need a net to catch bugs like you do in other farming games. You simply walk, so make sure you don't run, and when you walk to a bug or a critter, you're gonna be able to catch them. You know, I only realized this after I was almost finished with Spring of Year 1. Now, we have a list of things that have to do with your stamina. First, you're gonna eventually get rewards that expand your stamina, so you're not gonna be stuck in the cycle of losing your stamina too quickly every day. Second, use baths to your advantage. And with that in mind, make sure to not fall into the water because that's gonna drain your stamina a lot. This happened to me mostly when I was almost done with the day. You know, I'm tired, I barely have any energy left, so I would be on my way home, happy and using my glider, and bam, I would fall into the water, pass out because I barely had any stamina, and now I wake up with a lot less stamina in the morning. And of course, this game is a lot about cooking dishes, and many of these are going to help you recover your stamina, so always keep a variety of dishes on hand. So tip number 2 was a jumbo, multiple tips in one for you, and I have another one in regards to recipes and dishes. First, make sure to befriend everyone, not just the romanceables. I know y'all are single in the game, you're, like a Pringle, you want to fall in love and get married and all of that, but I would highly recommend against ignoring the other neighbors. A lot of them are gonna reward you with unique recipes if you level up your relationship with them and complete their favors. Now, favors are usually marked on the map with a blue exclamation point, and you need to complete them to progress your relationship with them. Otherwise, you're gonna be locked out of the relationship's progression. You can also find recipes in different bookshelves at your neighbors' houses, so make sure you go and take a little sneak peek at these bookshelves to find a few. You can also learn recipes by eating dishes, so make sure to buy some from the cafe or eat dishes that you have been rewarded with so that you can learn how to make them yourself. Now, this ties directly into tip number 4, which is all about freshness. This is a core mechanic that affects everything from your crafted dishes to your foraged goods like flowers and mushrooms. And this determines how close they are to expiring. If they expire, you won't be able to use them to craft or even sell them, so you really want to avoid doing that because you're just wasting resources, especially your crops. To make sure that doesn't happen, keep your items in storage to prolong their freshness. However, as the season goes by, freshness points will still be lost even if they are in storage. Here's a little trick. When you see that an item is about to get spoiled, you can actually process it or cooking into something new and restore the freshness back to full. For example, if an egg is almost spoiled, cook it and it's gonna go back to being fully fresh. Tip number 5 continues on with our food tips. Make sure to use food to not only regain lost stamina, but also gain various buffs, like increasing friendship points when you talk to townsfolk. But don't eat multiple dishes at the same time, thinking that the buffs will stack. They're not, and you're only gonna have the buff from the last dish you ate. Tip number 6 is don't miss out on various rewards that you receive. So many times, you're gonna wake up and you're gonna find mail. Now, unlike other farming games, I thought, I'm gonna click on the mailbox and it will automatically read it for me, but that didn't happen, and I thought, wait, is this a glitch? Well, the mail goes to this mail menu, and here you can read them and redeem the rewards. Tip number 7 is that the game has so many achievements to unlock, which will give you various rewards in the mailbox. So these are not Steam achievements, these are in-game achievements. And with that, you can use the new titles that are related to these achievements. It's a nice little detail that can be easily missed. Now, a couple of tips for your farm. First, if you forgot what crop you have planted, you can stand on top of it for a couple of seconds and the name of the crop will be displayed for you. Next, make sure that you do not wake up your animals when they're sleeping at night. So prioritize interacting with them during the day, otherwise they're not gonna appreciate you waking them up while they are resting. Tip number 9 is also on your farm, and it's about making some windscreens to protect yourself from storms. So always have a few on hand, they're very easy to make, and it's better to be ready than be sorry. And number 10, on your farm, of course, you have access to your first yellow windmill. Make sure to keep it working, especially to make fertilizer, stone, and lumber, because you're gonna need many of those for quests and tools. And keep in mind that windmills are faster when the wind is stronger, so use the radio at home for your advantage to check the weather and plan ahead. You can focus on processing goods that take longer times, usually when it's extra windy. And if there are items that you have no idea how to make, you can see the requirements by viewing the list of materials needed, because some of these items are flexible to make, so you can create them using different items. Now, we mentioned tools earlier, so tip 11 is to upgrade your tools ASAP. Trust me, you're gonna need it. Farming and foraging and mining can become a slog, and there's only how many, dishes that you can eat and baths that you can take. So as you upgrade your tools, your jump actions become a lot more efficient, and it's gonna let you cover more ground. And on the jumping note, tip 12 is to get the double jump from Felix during the bazaar, because it's gonna let you reach inaccessible areas, and double jumping is actually really fun to do. Tip 13 is that these barrels are not explosives. I don't know why I thought they would be. I mean, there's no combat in this game. But anyways, you use them to jump to higher places, and then you can also use your glider to paraglide up from different rooftops. By the way, we talked about upgrading your tools, and to do so, you're gonna need plenty of copper, silver, gold, etc. And these ores are gonna take a long time to respawn. At times, I had to mine for a week at least, and they just wouldn't spawn enough of them. So remember that materials spawn at least a couple of times each day, and that way you can make sure to revisit the mountain and various ore locations on your map to check if maybe you're gonna be lucky and you get some of these ores. As you play more, ore resources will start to appear more around town as well, so you can use your glider during windy days to access areas where you can find what you need. Now let's talk a little bit about the bazaar. Make sure you buy decoration sets so you can maximize the buffs that you get, and remember to focus on seasonal trends. That is something that I kept forgetting all the time. These trends can be found here, and these are the items that are most desired this season. So they're gonna get you a lot of money, which you're gonna need to do all of the upgrades that we're gonna talk about today. Also, you don't have to stock your stall only on bazaar days. You can actually use this feature to your advantage. So you can place things there that you plan to sell on Saturday that don't have a freshness level. So for example, accessories or gems that you found, metals and whatnot. This helps manage your storage, and again, trust me, managing inventory and storage can be so tedious in the beginning, especially because different levels of items do not stack. So you can have 3 to 4 variations of the same item, but they just have different quality. This leads us to tip 17, which is as soon as you can, make sure to buy a bag upgrade and a storage upgrade, because boy, are you gonna need it. While you're at it, once you unlock the sprites, buy these little boxes from them. There are a few of them that can be placed at different locations in Zephyr Town, and these can help you cut down on going back to your house all the time. It's gonna give you more time, and you can be a lot more efficient by simply placing your items, and these boxes will automatically ship everything back to your home. I also have to emphasize with tip 18 the need to donate to your sprites. Unlike many farming games that we play that, follow the Stardew Valley community center system, here you don't just donate an item once and that's it. Instead, each sprite requires many of the same items to level up. The more they level up, the higher quality the items will become, meaning you can sell them for more and also craft higher quality items. Tip 19 is all about one of the sprites, specifically Penny. I kept losing Penny and I didn't know where they were. Well, Penny is on this rooftop up here. Tip 20 is about using the sprites to your advantage when you are running your stall. I would say don't use their help the second that you unlock one sprite that you can call for during these sales. Instead, gather as many as you can and keep an eye on the shift time. When the shift is about to end, call on the sprites. You'll probably have plenty of them, and watch all of your sales get boosted. Tip 21 is that relationships are made a lot easier, and I love that because it really takes out all of the guesswork here. This menu over here is very handy because it gives you a character summary, every person's likes and dislikes, as well as whether you have gifted them or talked to them that day. Let me know who are you romancing, and let me know if you have any tips that would help our bubbly community. Thank you to my YouTube and Patreon members who make videos like this possible, and a shout out goes to the games I mentioned, Jake Logan, Yugoslav, and Stella for going the extra mile. Until next time, stay bubbly.